Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Introduction. Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 is a captivating love story of a young man fascinated by the beauty of his mistress and affectionately comparing her to nature. The first stanza, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day," opens the poem with an indication of a young man deeply in love. He envisions her as a beautiful creature and even wonders whether her beauty can be compared to any summer season. This love sonnet falls under the lyric genre, with the author expressing deep emotional feelings for his mistress throughout the poem. The first stanza gives an assumption to the reader that the poet is not sure of what is more beautiful, a beautiful summer day or his mistress. However, the air is cleared in the preceding stanzas that see the poet overcome by flamboyant feelings and admits that his lover is even lovelier than the summer itself. The poem embeds an image of an undying and unending kind of beauty as visualized by the poet. Analysis of the poem. The poet adopts a thematic structure technique to express to his lover's beauty. Whilst the first stanza acts as an eye-opener of the poet's attempt to compare his lover with summer, he goes on to state why his lover is better. Stanzas 1 to 6 give a solid reason as to why his lover cannot be compared with summer. Though summer appears to be beautiful in nature, it is not constant and can be very disappointing if solely relied upon. It also does not last long as his lover's beauty would. The stanzas give detailed answers to his rhetorical question posed at the beginning of the poem. The poet's praises and awe are well expressed in these stanzas by revealing all the beauty qualities seized by his mistress. Her beauty is constant and can neither be shaken by strong winds nor can it become unpredictable like the hot sun. It does not also waver in the eyes of the beholder like the cloud swallows the summer, hence losing its beauty. Stanzas 7 to 14 indicates the unending beauty to which he says cannot be claimed by anything, not even a natural calamity such as death. Although he admits that every fair from fair sometime decline, he makes his mistress's beauty an exception by claiming that her youthful nature will never fade. Interestingly, the author takes a different twist in the ending when he no longer compares the beauty to the summer, but rather to the immortality of his poems. The setting. The poem is characterized by an affectionate mood portrayed by the poet throughout the poem. The tone adopted by the poet in the poem is that of a romantic intimacy of a young man intrigued by a woman's beauty. The mood and the tone therefore play a major role to describe the setting of the poem. It is obvious that the poet is sitting in a field on a warm summer day. Though the weather seems ideal, it is breezy with rough winds shaking the buds of May. This is an indication that the poet is sitting under a tree enjoying the scenery on a hot afternoon. The poet enjoys the unpredictable weather till the cloud swallows the sun, and as he states, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed, nature always seems to take its course during sunset and sunrise. Symbolism and imagery. The poet uses metaphor and personification to bring life to his poem. He uses figurative speech to presume change, fate and immortality. He speaks of how he will internally save his lover's beauty from fading from the face of the earth. The use of summer as metaphor is used to mean the life of the mistress that should be saved from fate. Fate in this case is portrayed by use of scorching sun and rough winds. The poet has personified death, rough winds and has even gone further to label the buds as darling. Death has been described as a supervisor of its shade, which is a metaphor of afterlife. All these actions are related to human beings. Eternal lines to lines, though growest is of praise to the poet's poems which he says will last forever, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, a metaphor symbolizing poet lovers will be there to read them. He views beauty as an art which cannot diminish despite all the hurdles in life. However, the beauty does not apply to everything but only to images that appeals more to the eyes of the beholder than nature itself. That kind of beauty is immortal and surpasses all tribulations caused by nature itself. Conclusion. The poet is fascinated by his mistress's beauty such that he cannot imagine that very beauty fading from his eyes. He argues in an expressive manner that the beauty is constant and, unlike a summer day, is not affected by any changes or fate at all. He, however, seemed to be praising his poem as characterized at the end of the poem, where he only compares the everlasting beauty to his poem. His conclusion indicates that the beauty can only end only when the poem ceases to exist. This essay on Shakespeare's Sonnet 18 was written and submitted by user Paloma Allison to help you with your own studies. You are free to use it for research and reference purposes in order to write your own paper. However, you must cite it accordingly.